Kamusta? Hello. And that is Kamusta is hello in the Philippines. I had wanted to say welcome in the Filipino language, but the pronunciation was not coming out the proper way. I was not making it as beautiful as it is. I was butchering that. I tried, but I really did try. But anyway, welcome to everyone who is listening. And this is Henrie, and thank you to tuning in to Ticket to Life. I hope everyone had a wonderful November because it's just about over, folks. Here in Texas, we've had crazy weather. I'd like to give you a report. So it's been hot and cold, and all of a sudden now we're cool temperatures, which we really are enjoying. And just for all of you new listeners, welcome again. We'll have some new listeners pretty soon. I'll make a big announcement in the next podcast or so. It's a great announcement for me and for Ticket to Life. Do any of you have favorite things? Like, these are a few of my favorite things. Well, I have a little fetish. I guess it's not really a fetish. Now I'm going to start receiving things in the mail, but I'm just kidding. But I love pens, like writing pens, P-E-N-S, not pins, but pens. That's my Texas accent saying that. Well, sorry about that. But I just, and I'm going to promote something. They are not sponsoring me, but I have had a friend I've had several friends for over 30 years, but and she was a little girl when I knew her. So she's in her 30s now and has a family of her own. And she has started a business on Facebook. But the name of her business is Crazy B as in boy, S as in special. It's Crazy BS Designs. Well, she makes the cutest writing pens and keychains and all sorts of stuff. So I'm sure she ships out, but she makes custom-made pens and keychains, wine stoppers, makeup brushes, and more great gifts. It's all about beads. She is just amazing, and she gave me a gift of a beautiful pen. I will post this beautiful pen on my Instagram, and it is Blue Lives Matter. For those of you who do support Blue Lives, you know I do because of my husband and my son and many others. But anyway, it's a beautiful pen, and I will post it. And if you're interested, you need to really follow her on Facebook. And on Facebook, it is Crazy BS Designs. She is one of the sweetest people. I think she's on TikTok too. I'm pretty sure she is. But anyway, if you have a chance, look at her stuff. And like I said, I'm sure she ships because she's always doing shows. And if you have a person who's fanatic about, I have more pens than I need. When I die, my kids are going to wonder, what was she writing? What was she doing? I love colored pens. I love Sharpies. I love whimsical pens. I just think they're fun to have. So anyway, that's one of my favorite things. It's nothing like Oprah's, and I love Oprah, but I can't afford her favorite things. But anyway, I hope everyone is doing well. As I said, I hope you all had a great November, a great Thanksgiving. I wanted to talk about something that was kind of brought not to my attention, but it happened to me. And I want to share two things. We're going to talk about gratitude and envy. Now, I'm hoping everyone has gratitude. And if you don't know what that meaning is, but I'm sure we're all adults listening to this podcast, you do. And it is being thankful or being appreciative. It's hopefully, I pray, that one of the first things when kids are toddlers that their parents reinforce them to say thank you, I give you something, you say thank you. You give me something, I say thank you, because it means so much. Now, sometimes you may be in a particular moment or peculiar place, a particular moment in your life, or a certain spot. I don't know. Let's say you go to the store, and obviously cashier is having a bad day. I we talked about this at our Bible study, and my sister emphasized how she always says, gives that cashier a compliment. Even if they're hateful, even because you don't know what they're going through. You don't know if they want to be at that job. You don't know what's going on in their life, and they may seem grumpy. So a simple thank you can brighten their day. A simple compliment. Oh, I love your name. If they have a name tag, I love your hair. I love this. Even if you don't mean it, you could actually lift someone's spirits so much just by saying thank you. It's so important that we teach our kids what gratitude is. We have so many things to be thankful for. A lot of people will pretend they're thankful, but they're not. These are unhappy people. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist. These are just my thoughts and opinions. But I have seen that. So then we're going to go, unfortunately, these two kind of go together, but they don't, but they do. You confused yet? Because I am. Envious. Have you ever been envious of someone or something that someone has? Have you ever felt resentful because someone has something? It could be someone's possessions, like their car, their home, their job, qualities of life that they lead, their family life. Have you ever been resentful of someone? Because if you have, I'm just going to tell you that's real negative, and that's not good. Negative is bad, people. It's bad. You don't want to be envious. But have I ever been envious? Of course I have. Have I ever, but I mean, have I gotten like, oh, I can't believe they're getting that and I'm not? And no, I've never been that, maybe as a small child, but no, not as an adult. But these are things that many of us have. We are envious of those possessions, the love that someone has, the quality of their life, blah, blah, blah. And we have the same thing. We may have a job, but we may not be that happy at it. We may have a family, but not too happy with our family. We may be in love, but feel more obligated in this love relationship. And possessions. You may have some of the same things these people have, but you're still envious. Now, the thing I want to say about possessions is, guess what? And here's the morbid part. We're all going to die, and those possessions are going to be here. You can't take them with you. Trust me, I do not want to be buried or burned for cremated with a bunch of writing pens. Might cause a massive explosion. But I think we need to remember all these are objects. These are things that we don't have, and we need to be more gracious. We need to be, now, of course, this is the mother in me, I guess, but I have noticed a lot of people they want more. They want more. They have so much in their lives, but they still want more. Now, the envious part is natural. I don't think any of us can get away from that. And a lot of us literally spend probably, don't quote me because this is me just giving a crazy estimate, 5 to 8 hours a day looking on social media. And not looking to see what everyone else is doing, but looking for that one particular person that you are envious of. And that person is usually the one who posts literally every day, once or twice or 3 times a day. They share everything with you. Where they bought something, what they bought, where they're going, how wonderful their life is. And yeah, I can see where that would make a lot of people envious. I do have some friends that do that, but honestly, they're just friends, and I guess that makes them happy. But I don't need to know what everyone's doing. I've gotten so much better about being on social media. Yay, me. I literally get on it maybe twice a day, and it's just for a little bit, just scroll. I am one of those scrollers. And then my husband or someone will say, "Hey, did you see what happened on to so and so on Facebook?" I'm like, "No." So I have to, of course, then I get on. What is it? But those are the things that we should not be envious. I don't know why people feel they have to post so much about their personal life. If they're getting ready to do a documentary on their life or their family, I get it. But I don't understand that. And I mean, that's their business. It makes them happy. It makes them fun. But I don't need to know that. So again, I'm a scroller. Um, I see that a lot of people will be envious. Okay, here's a story. Oh, here's a good story, and it's about me. So of course it's good. No, I'm just kidding. But when I was younger and single, now when I say younger, that's in my 20s because I'm not in my 20s anymore, folks. Anyway, when I was in my 20s, after divorce, it seemed like I think that's when God came into my life. I mean, he's always been in my life, but he's gotten even bigger in my life now. But in that point, he he really, I knew I wasn't alone. You know how in past podcasts I have mentioned you are never ever alone? Well, that's when I knew I was not alone. Well, I had someone close to me, and you can't tell someone something and say, don't say anything, because if it's about you, they're going to tell you. And I don't know if they tell you to get you upset or to let you know. I don't know why people do that. I've gotten, it's funny. If you're in your 20s or 30s or 40s and you're listening to this, trust me, you get better with age. You just learn that is not worth getting involved. But anyway, back to this. So I'm broke all the time. I barely have food in my apartment, but I managed. And you know what? I was gracious because I did have a job. I did have a car. I did have my dog. I had my family. I had friends. And so I heard through the grapevine that someone who was very close and dear to me had made a comment about me. And the comment was, why is she so happy? She doesn't even go to church. Aha. That was someone who was envious of me. Of course, I remember at the time going, what? I go to church on my own because I would go to church and no, I didn't announce it. I'm going to church this Sunday. No, I would just go. I didn't make a big deal about it. I would just go. But that was envious. And I remember not getting mad, which most people probably would have got ticked off. But I guess I was a little bit more mature than what I thought I was in my 20s. But I remember thinking, why? And it was because I had met my husband and we were really good friends. And then we started dating. And I was happy. I was broke. I barely had any food. I was very thin. That was the broke diet. When you're broke, you're thin because you don't have food on the table. But I remember, it was fine. I was fine. So I think people get envious of things they don't have. And I wished, and like I said, it's human nature, but I can wish all sorts of stuff. I just didn't get it. And now I get it. Again, I guess there are times when I'm like, wow, look how great they're doing. That's wonderful. And I am happy for people. Now back to gratitude. Has someone ever let's reverse. Let's rewind there. Have you ever had something to share with someone? And when you shared this news and you shared it, you didn't share it with the whole world. You didn't share it with social media. You didn't share it with, anyone, but a certain person that you are very close to, very dear to, and you share this news. And instead of being happy for you, they're actually, oh, that's good. And you expected them to do the opposite. You expected them to be jumping up and down with you and screaming because this is great news. But instead, they just say, oh, that's great, and change the subject. Well, that kind of pulls your excitement down a notch. And you're wondering why. Why are they not happy? Well, let me tell you. Yes, that's happened to me too. First of all, when someone chooses you to share great news, I don't care how envious you are of them. Take a deep breath, bite your tongue, and be happy for them. I don't care if it's false happiness. You have no right to bring someone down when they are on cloud nine. We don't have any right to take joy from anyone just because it didn't happen to you. And of course, again, this is just me being a mother figure, a person who these things have happened to me, and I don't get it because then it kind of makes you feel sad. And I don't know if that's their goal, is to make you feel sad because you shared this great news, but they picked you. They picked you. They didn't tell anyone else. They wanted to tell you. So I know you shouldn't fake things in life, but we all have faked something somewhere in our life. Wink, wink. But anyway, we should always be gracious. If someone picks you to share a wonderful thing that's going on in their life, then you should show them gratitude, even if it's fake. It's not that hard to pretend you're happy. We pretend so many other things in our life that I'm sure you can pretend to be happy for someone who wants to share great news with you. Now, for those of you saying, but that's a lie. But that's a good lie. Wouldn't you rather be the other person who is making the person telling you the good news, that you're so happy for them? And I'm not saying you have to throw them a party or throw confetti or blow a horn. All you got to do is say, that is great. I'm so happy for you. That's it. You don't have to ask questions. And if they want to tell you more, that's great. Now, it's not even that they're bragging to share the news. They just want to share the news with you. So I'm thinking on this note, there is a lot of resemblance when I'm comparing gratitude and envy. Because you may have all these things that you are envious of and don't even realize them. You don't realize that you have a home. And I know I say this on most of my podcasts. I'm always repeating myself, but you should be thankful because people are happy for you that you do have a job, that you do have a roof over your head. You have food on the table and family. As far as family, what's that saying is, we don't get to pick our family, but we get to pick our friends or something like that. And that is true. And some of all families, in my opinion, I had a youth director tell me this once, all families are dysfunctional. I don't care who you are, but there is a little bit of dysfunction in every family. No family is perfect, and you need to realize that. But we have all these things that some of us are envious of, and that's where we need to find our gratitude. The gratitude of looking around right now, wherever you're at listening to this. If you're in the car, in your office, in your bedroom, in the bathroom, I don't care. You have something to be grateful for. And I am always about thanking people for goodness. If they do something good, thank them. It can be the littlest thing, but thank them. And again, they may be having this horrible day, and you said, thank you so much. You may be the person who lifts their spirits. When you have probably lifted spirits in people's lives, and you didn't even realize it. So I think that's pretty cool that we have that power, the power of being happy and passing on happiness. And I know I'm sure people always think, oh, she's always so positive. No, I'm not. I have my negative days too. But I have to slap myself sometimes silly and say, hey, look around because I do have many things to be grateful for. I'm thankful for this podcast. I'm thankful for the people in the Philippines listening. I'm thankful for the people who listen, listen around the world. And I'm hoping that I have touched some lives. I hope, again, I have made you laugh. I hope I have made you go, aha, that's what she's talking about. She's right. I do have blessings because we do all have blessings each and every day. So I hope that the month of December is right around the corner, if not already here when you hear this podcast. So I will be talking about all sorts of stuff in December. I am so thankful for you, and I'm so thankful for my listeners. And I can't even express how thankful I am to anyone and everyone who has said kind words to me. And there are many people in my life that are always kind, and then some not so kind. But guess what? You gotta let it go. When someone is negative towards you, as hard as it is, take that deep breath and walk away from it. People can be nasty. Kids can be nasty. I'm just appalled at how many kids are so disrespectful to adults now. I don't get it. There was I'm a football fan, so we're watching. We watched the Eagles and Kansas City play last week, and there's this kid, and Kansas City lost. And yes, now we're Kansas City fans because my daughter's in Kansas. Jesus, I thought I'd be a Cowboys fans forever. But anyway, so, and this has nothing to do with the people of Philadelphia, or kind of. But so there's they show the after, like everyone leaving, and I don't even know if this was what this. It was on a reel, and so you see people on the right side, Kansas City fans, and then on the left, it's I guess a family of Philadelphia fans. And so this little boy, probably the age of 8, maybe, I really couldn't tell because they didn't show his face. So he turns to the Kansas City fan to the right, and he kind of taps him and puts his hand like, he's going to shake his hand like, oh, congratulations, I'm sorry you lost kind of thing. And I thought, how sweet. You're watching this little kid, and he taps the Kansas City fan, and the little boy's in a jersey, Philadelphia jersey. And so the man turns around, just, oh, look, this is a cute little guy. He's going to shake my hand, and I can tell him congratulations for the Eagles winning. So he turns around slowly, puts his hand to shake this little boy's hand, and the kid flips the Kansas City fan off. I'm like, what? I got to stop watching reels. No. Yeah. And I'm like, people. And then you hear the people laughing, I guess, parents in the background. How disrespectful. Instead of teaching a kid, give me a handshake, you teach him to flip an adult off. First of all, bad sportsmanship. And you can't have that in football. Obviously, I'm so glad that the officials are calling right and left now. Sometimes they don't look like it should be called off, but you know what? I'm glad that they're calling. I mean, there's bullies now on the football field. So I know it's a man's sport. They're supposed to be like that. No, they're not. They're adults. Yeah, when I see all of a sudden, this past year in NFL, I have seen more little brawls than I think I've ever seen. And I've been watching football for a long time. So I guess their moms need to talk to the other team's moms, and these are adults. But anyway, I don't know. You know me, I always go from one story to the next. But please teach your kids how to be kind. Teach them to have good manners. Do people even do that? Yes, they do. They do. I know they do, but it's a shame. And I don't want any Eagles fans getting upset with me either. I'm not a big Eagles fan because I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan and Kansas City Chief. And soon to be Atlanta Falcons, too. I'm going to have all these different shirts. But anyway, I hope that you have had a wonderful, again, December. Yes, I'm ready. Yes, my Christmas trees are up. I put 2 Christmas trees. We decorated the yard. We're done and done. So now it's time to start ordering and Amazon. And another thing that I do, and I know a lot of people do this, and I'm sorry, I'm going back and forth, but we always leave like a TV tray out by the front door. And we just get like chips and like individual chips and individual cookies and have some Gatorade and some water out there. And we leave a note for all the deliveries because this is a crazy time. Excuse me, where deliveries will be made. And we have people coming in and out. We just have a note to say, thank you so much for all your hard work. And please feel free to take a snack or a drink. And I do appreciate it because of these drivers from UPS, Amazon, FedEx, the United Parcel Post, anybody. I appreciate you, and I do appreciate all your hard work because I'm sure it is a crazy time for all of you. So if you think about it and you can afford to do that, it's just a kind gesture to say thank you because usually half the time you're not even home or deliveries are put out and they're just there waiting for you. So again, the 2 things I was talking about, gratitude and envious. Think about things you have been envious about. I will think about things that I need to have more gratitude about. And when you do feel that bit of envy in your life or in your gut, take a deep breath and look around and see where you are in your life. And I bet you're going to be so grateful of all you have and your job, your children, your family, your house, your apartment, your car. See, the list can go on and on because of everything that we have. Well, thank you for listening to Ticket to Life, and I appreciate all of you, and thank you for listening around the world, and don't forget to go and find your blessings. Until later.